Hi, everyone. Welcome back. Thanks for being here this Tuesday, the 22nd, where we're counting down the hours so begrudgingly until summer is over. Fall, just hours away, officially starts tomorrow. And as it comes in, it also brings about a change in your weather. We've got for the weekend, for the most part, mostly cloudy skies and a chance of some scattered to isolated showers throughout. Temperatures holding pat pretty much as they are, very comfortable in the 70s, but not as nice for your first weekend of the autumn season. We'll talk more about that as your forecast has been tweaked in just a few moments. I spent some time today in an interview that will air tonight with the Floyd County Sheriff and that of the Floyd County Attorney in regards to the court appearance and other details of the investigation as it goes into those five teenagers, not all, but some juveniles, which were arrested for robbing a Floyd County store. We've been following, of course, since day one, and we'll have more details for you tonight. We'll also talk a bit about the Parkway expansion. Sacramento City Council met last night, and some other news and information. First off, a quick reminder from the Johnson County Sheriff's Department, who has asked me to pass this along. They want to remind everyone that Thursday, October the 15th, is the last day for Johnson County residents to pay your 2014 school property tax bills in the Sheriff's office before they're transferred to the Johnson County Clerk's office, where additional penalties will be applied. If you have any questions regarding your county school property taxes, call the Sheriff's office in Johnson County at 789-3411. Kentucky State Police say they're investigating a head-on collision that has claimed the life of an Eastern Kentuckian. What we understand is the fact that Kenna Mullins, 43, of Lick Creek, was traveling west on 460 in the Regina Belcher area. She was traveling in her Equinox, a Chevrolet Equinox small SUV, and was struck head-on by another SUV traveling in the opposite direction. We know that Mullins was pronounced dead at the scene, and the Kentucky State Police also indicate that Mullins was wearing her seatbelt at the time of the collision, and that alcohol doesn't appear to be a factor in the most recent fatality in eastern Kentucky. A bit out of sorts. I'll get to that next one in just a few moments. Then first, as a reminder, this just in, I'll have it on our community calendar starting tomorrow, but it's about a big annual event set for this Saturday in Magoffin County. It's the annual Hog Roast, Soup Bean Dinner, and Auction hosted by the North Magoffin Volunteer Fire Department. It's been set for this Saturday, as always is, at the shelter at the top of the Improvement or Rock House Hill on Route 364 besides the Rock House Church. They'll start serving dinner at noon throughout the evening, and the auction will start at 2. A whole lot of auction items: home furniture, kitchen appliances, power and hand tools, Longaberger items, generators, toolboxes. List goes on. Live entertainment also starts at noon, featuring Black Powder Express and more. Just $6 for the dinner. Kids 12 and under get in for free, and the dinner includes roasted ham and soup bean dinner with beverage, also hot dogs, corn dogs, and loaded fries, etc. All proceeds going to the North Magoffin Volunteer Fire Department. It's Saturday, all starting at noon. My mouth is watering talking about it. We'll remind you throughout the week. Well, as one Eastern Kentucky man has learned his fate, that being Stephen Calhoun, who is charged with robbing a Heinemann subway back in August of last year. His trial was set to begin tomorrow in Knott Circuit Court. However, a plea deal has been reached, and for the robbery, he will spend 10 years in prison on the count of robbery in the second degree, and then another 10 years for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Those two terms are to run consecutively, one after the other, bookended for a total of 20 years. He is set to be formally sentenced on the 8th day of October. And while that Eastern Kentucky case appears to be coming to an end, just beginning is that of 4 teenagers from the Prestonsburg and Floyd County area who are all still accused and jailed as it pertains to that very brazen, bold, and I'm sure there's some other words to describe it, armed robbery that took place at the Parkway Convenience Mart just days ago. Our schedules would not allow me to sit down today with Sheriff Hunt and County Attorney Keith Bartley from Floyd County. They graciously, however, did accommodate me by the following telephone interview, which we conducted earlier today to find out more about the investigation and this week's court appearance by all the suspects. To be clear, there are 4 facing robbery in the first degree charges, 1 facing complicity to commit robbery in the first degree for driving the getaway vehicle, but Tom Marcelette, the owner, says that indeed 4 men entered the store heavily armed, a shotgun, a baseball bat, and a pistol, while 2 women were working, and then got away with an undetermined amount of cash. Floyd County Sheriff John Hunt first tells us about the charges and the investigation that led to the arrest, An investigation, he says, that was greatly assisted with help from members of the community.
A couple days after the incident happened, we started getting some information, some tips about some possible participants in the crime. We followed up on those leads. It led us to a couple of people who knew some of the kids involved very well. They gave information that we were able to follow up on that coincided with what information we knew from the crime itself. And right after that robbery, we had another phone call or two about a vehicle that may have been involved that was seen. And the evidence that these witnesses gave matched that same description of the vehicle that we thought was involved in the robbery itself that night. So from there, we went to talking to some people, and we got some statements of witnesses who had contact with these boys or had overheard some statements. And from there, we got up with the state police detective that was in charge of the investigation, and based on that, probably several hours followed that, we were able to make the arrest.
And County Attorney Keith Bartley, in the same interview, said that information presented in court yesterday indicates that all the accused have admitted to being a part of the crime.
I can tell you during the preliminary hearing yesterday, the state police detective testified that there were admissions of guilt made by virtually all the defendants. I can tell you that the adult cases have been bound over to the grand jury, that there was a finding of probable cause by the district court that, in fact, those crimes had been committed. I can tell you that the defense attorneys made efforts to try to get bonds reduced for the defendants, and the judge turned those efforts down. So those individuals remain in jail. There are actions underway to seek to transfer the juvenile cases to the adult courts.
And lastly, I posed the question to Sheriff Hunt, both on a personal and professional level, how disturbing he found the ages of those accused.
Well, it's very disturbing, the age of them, and they're still school students. Their life is obviously well ahead of them. You know, what their future could have been was up to them. It's sad that they chose this route. The juveniles, I think one of them might even be 16, one 17, but it's very disturbing. And to know their parents, that some of them didn't come from those kind of homes. They wasn't brought up that way. And obviously the mystery is what made them do this and what turned them into this kind of kids, you know.
For now, as you heard, all remain jailed, and charges against all of them are to be bound over before a Floyd County grand jury. I'll be right back with further headlines in just a minute. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. They're still plugging along on the Mountain Parkway expansion. Of course, that's going to be an ongoing story for many years. But in our most recent expansion update, we've got some more new information about the construction and clearing activities, which are still progressing along a nearly 6-mile stretch of the Mountain Parkway just to the west of Sagersville. Project, described as the Magafa County West segment, runs from mile point 70 to just east of mile point 75 there at the Route 7 exit. Speed limit is 45 miles per hour in that area, and traffic on the parkway may be slowed or stopped periodically for the safety of workers and travelers. While significant construction and site work continues near Gifford Road, where a new interchange is being built, that interchange will provide new access to and from the Mountain Parkway and serve an industrial park being planned just to the north of the interchange. Workers on the project are building a steel and concrete pier that will support a new Gifford Road overpass across the parkway, and crews are also extending an existing culvert that will run under the eastbound lanes of the Mountain Parkway once it is expanded to 4 lanes. Crews are also continuing significant clearing and site work around the Kentucky 30 interchange. This is a big difference since my last trip down the Parkway. Some serious filling has been going on the site of the industrial park, with a great deal of earth moved into this area, now road level and a bit beyond. It looks as though they have gotten a large portion of that filling done to date. The project's also going to include modernizing and improving the Kentucky Route 30 interchange, as well as realigning and widening about 2.5 miles of the parkway. And utility companies, they tell me, are working around the Kentucky Route 7 exit there at the Sagersville interchange, immediately west of Sagersville Restaurant Row. And they're continuing to relocate communications and power lines ahead of construction work that will be picking up there very, very soon. Meanwhile, just to let you know, the Mountain Parkway expansion team continues to study options for extending the parkway between Sagersville and Prestonsburg. More headlines to come. Right now, announcements via tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar. The annual Title I parent meetings are still going on this week in McGoffin County. Tomorrow at 1 o'clock for the Sagersville Grade School, and then Friday morning at 9 for the Harold Whitaker Middle School, and then Friday at 1:30 for North McGoffin Elementary. Recovery Rocks celebration is coming up. Food, fun, music, prizes, recovery testimonies, and fellowship. It's all this Saturday, 11 till 3 at the McGoffin County Health Department for Recovery Rocks, where the recovery community invites you to come and celebrate recovery with them. It's this Saturday starting at 11 at your McGoffin County Health Department. The 32nd annual homecoming. The annual homecoming and old-fashioned day at the Sagersville Pentecostal Church of Christ is this weekend, Saturday at 7, Sunday at 11. Special singing Sunday by Anointed Hearts. Also dinner following Sunday services. This invitation from Pastor Philip Bucket and everyone at Sagersville Pentecostal. Several things coming up in support of some of our local folks. A cancer benefit bike ride in honor of Luke Lewis and Ivan Howard is set for this Sunday. They'll leave the Ramey Park and head to the Red River Gorge and back. They'll have food and refreshments, just $20 to register per motorcycle. And if you don't have a motorcycle, they'll take your $20. You'll be in for door prizes, and you'll help support two wonderful families. A 5K walk run has been set in honor of Jerry Arnett and his family for Sunday, the 4th of October. To find out more, go to team.arnett5kwalkrun@gmail.com. Now, this is also, it's just $10 to enter for 8 to 15-year-olds and anyone 16 or over, just $20 in support of Jerry Arnett, who was diagnosed with stage 4 renal cancer recently. And coming up pretty soon, also on October the 3rd, actually, the Harold Whitaker Middle School cheerleaders have put together a bass fishing tournament on Yatesville Lake. That's that Saturday, 7:30 till 3:30 the afternoon. $100 per boat, and they'll blast off in order of entry fee received. First place pays $1,500, second $750, and on down the line. And on down the line will be your announcement if you'd like to send it to us. Birthdays, anniversaries, or announcements like you just heard. Mail them, phone them, fax them, any way you can. And remember, you can always catch programming the following day. You want to see it or miss it the first time, yournewstoday.com is the place to go. In funeral service announcements provided by the McGoffin County Funeral Home, we learn of the passing of 76-year-old Emmett Ray Borders of Coal Branch in Sagersville, who passed away on today's date. He was preceded in death by his wife, Shelby Jean Wireman Borders. He's survived by brother Urshel and sister Easter Blair. Visitation will be after 6 o'clock this Thursday, and then prior to services, they've been set for Friday morning at 11. And sadly, we've also learned today of the passing of Sam Stone, 73 years of age, of Knoxville, but formerly and mostly of McGoffin County. Sam passed away on today's date, the husband of Sharon K. Conley Stone. She survives, as well as a host of other family and friends. Will have complete arrangements as soon as they are made. They are to be announced soon as they are completed by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Once again, in honor of 73-year-old Sam Stone. Sagersville City Council met in regular session last evening. Trick or treat, the Sagersville First Baptist Church building, and other items discussed. A relatively brief meeting for the Sagersville City Council last evening did see 2 second readings for 2 separate ordinances. One, the second reading, keeping the tax rates the same as last year's rates for the city of Sagersville. That's all tax rates across the board. Also, a second reading on the ordinance that will allow the city to collect delinquent taxes in the future. Trick or treat was discussed. It will be here before you know it, and has been set for Friday the 30th, 6 to 8, for the city of Sagersville. The council later tabled a request for $5,000 in assistance to help paint exterior portions of the Sagersville Renaissance building until they could further find out just how much materials and labor it would take, and then discussed the Sagersville First Baptist Church building and the McGoffin County Public Library Board's intents on demolishing it possibly as soon as next week.
The status on the church and the property over here.
That as far as right now, unless something happens between now and time the bid goes out, it's going to be tore down.
29th, I think.
Is that what it is? It'd be the 29th.
I think the city council, I think we'll make a motion that the city council will go on record as being opposed to tearing it down. Not that it's gonna do any good.
Well, they already know we're opposed to it, so.
No, they don't.
Yeah, well, the city's been willing to let them have a lot if it's paid off, so they know.
I make a motion that we put it on our records that we are opposed to that building being torn down. I make a motion that we do that.
I'll second, whatever, yeah.
Further discussion centered around the ball fields in the Ramey Park, and then, of course, the plans of the high school to play their games, of course, in their new athletic complex and what that meant to the Ramey Park and for the city of Sagersville. Also, the upkeep of those facilities in the Ramey Park. Discussion about fuel being purchased now in bulk and being stored on city property. A building also being constructed nearby to house city equipment. Also, mobile home inspections were discussed, as was reviewing the business license ordinance for the city of Sagersville. No action taken on any of those matters, and the meeting was soon after adjourned. I had to hurry through last night's football scores from last Friday night, and in doing so, I knew that there was some big news for the Paintsville Tigers. I just couldn't get my hands on it from my desk, so just a little bit of an update for you there. They indeed are ranked number 1 in their class for the first time in over 30 years. And it's actually for the first time in more than 35, according to reports. Cash Daniels got 484 passing yards, 425 rushing, and 15 touchdowns. Kent Phelps has rushed for 523 yards this season, and some other players have some other big numbers. And altogether, the latest AP press poll has Paintsville at the very top of Class A football for the first time since October of 1980. The 20th time that Paintsville has been at the top of the AP poll in the history of the program. That means the Tigers head into a home game this Friday night, hosting Bourbon County. They do so at 5-0, coming off a win over Williamsburg, 39-15 this past Friday night. 5-0 is a good place to be. You want to know another good place to be? Anywhere you could find underneath the forecast, at least for the time being. Fall is here. Indeed it is. Weather-wise, it's been here for a while. Nevertheless, look for some more of that pesky, patchy, dense fog tonight, mainly after 3 a.m. Otherwise, mostly clear with a low of 52. Pretty much another nice, boring evening. No, not boring. Gorgeous evening in store. A fall evening, to say the least. Followed by some more weather of autumn that will, as you can well imagine, with that patchy, dense fog tonight, start off on the same note up until about 10 a.m. Otherwise, on your Wednesday, and can you believe it's Wednesday already? Otherwise, on your Wednesday, with that fog, sunshine will quickly burn it away, and we'll see close to 80 degrees, another low in the low 50s tomorrow night, and mostly clear skies late. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Can't say it enough. Love to say it when you can. Friday, more of the same with mostly sunny skies and... let's want to talk about Thursday first. 80 degrees on your Thursday. Fog at the onset, sunny in the middle, and 58 for nighttime lows. Partly cloudy skies late. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited and ahead of myself. But another beautiful day Wednesday, Thursday, and into your Friday. Albeit some changes are coming. We'll see temperatures back down to about 76 and mostly sunny skies. We do work in a 20% chance of showers. No storms predicted, but a chance of showers mid to late afternoon on Friday, and those chances of showers will peak, I think, to the tune of about 30% early Saturday, and clouds will move in, and they will hang tough for, I think, a couple of days. 74, mostly cloudy, cooler, a 30% chance of some showers. No storms as of right now, but some showers. And for the latter half of your weekend, a continued 20% threat of some showers and continued mostly cloudy skies on your Sunday as well. We'll also see temperatures hanging tough right in the mid-70-degree range. Those temperatures start to get closer to 80 by Monday and Tuesday of next week. With that, we'll see some more sun return as well. And that's your Licking Valley RECC forecast in a nutshell. And that's going to wrap it up for us this evening. Tomorrow, just like today and every day, more news that you'll only see with me. Thank you for watching, and have a good night.